We hear this over and over again from the seniors who adopt out these dogs. It gets them out in the community, it gets them walking. That is huge, getting them out exercising and meeting people. And there's nothing like a magnet. They're a magnet. Walking a dog is a magnet. People want to say hi to the dog, and then they start interacting with each other, and that's huge for everyone, seniors included.
Hello, and welcome to Not Born Yesterday, a podcast dedicated to older adults and the challenges and joys of aging. I'm Miriam Goodman, your co-host. Not Born Yesterday examines the problems and solutions of growing older today. We bring you the wisdom and voices of experts in the field of aging and offer tips on how to feel your best, use your lifetime skills and experience, and make the coming months and years as fulfilling as possible.
I'm your co-host, Lynn Winter Gross. Not Born Yesterday is brought to you by Next Village SF. Next Village SF is a local nonprofit providing older adults in the Northeast neighborhood of San Francisco with support to help age in place, as well as offering cultural, educational, and social activities that keep people connected and engaged with the community and with each other.
Not Born Yesterday, we often talk about ways to deal with social isolation experienced by many older adults. There are great programs like The Villages, which offer community and opportunities to meet new people. But what about those who want something to help with the isolation of living alone? Many suggest get a pet. Get a dog or a cat and you will have company when you're at home or out for a walk. Pets can be a great comfort against loneliness, isolation, and inactivity. There are medical reports that say that older pet owners have fewer doctor visits and are less sedentary. And as any dog owner knows, walking a dog often turns into talking with others about your dog. And of course, meeting new people reduces isolation.
But in addition to the pure joy a pet can bring, there are many responsibilities that go along with owning a pet. Here to talk about the advantages and opportunities for older adults adopting a pet are our guests today. Carrie Broker is Executive Director and co-founder of Peace of Mind Dog Rescue, a resource and advocate for senior dogs and senior people. She's the winner of the American Red Cross Animal Rescue Hero Award. Monica Rua is the president and co-founder of Peace of Mind Dog Rescue. She too has devoted over 20 years of her life to animal rescue. Her involvement extends to fundraising, volunteer management, animal tracking, and fostering both dogs and cats. Her previous career was as a software engineer for NASA. Our guests have found an interesting niche, helping senior dogs and senior people. In addition to providing homes for dogs whose owners can no longer care for them, the organization provides volunteer and financial assistance so seniors can keep their pets as long as possible. Carrie and Monica, welcome to Not Born Yesterday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about some of the benefits for older adults to having a pet, especially a dog? I know that dogs need to take walks, which is a great way for their owners to get exercise, but there must be other advantages.
Well, we hear this over and over again from all the people that the seniors who adopt out these dogs. It gets them out in the community. It gets them walking. Oftentimes when they lose an animal, they start spending more time at home and aren't as social. So that is huge, getting them out exercising and meeting people. And there's nothing like a magnet. They're a magnet. Walking a dog is a magnet. People want to say hi to the dog, and then they start interacting with each other. And that's huge for everyone, seniors included.
So how should a senior prepare their house or apartment, or condo for taking on a dog?
That's a good question. It probably depends upon the size of dog and the activity level of the dog, and if this is a senior dog that has mobility issues. So what we do when somebody is looking for a dog is we do what we call a home safety check, so that we can go and see what is the setup at their home. Is there, a flight of stairs? And or is there a short fence, and this is a dog that can actually jump over a fence? So it's all going to depend upon the person, and hopefully whatever rescue or shelter you're working with, they can help you what we really talk a lot about is matching the right dog with the right person. And so you want to look at personality, activity, mobility on both sides of the equation to make sure that it's a good match and that the home itself is also a safe environment for the dog.
You talked a little bit about senior dogs for senior people, but should every senior get a senior dog? Well, we've all seen people being sort of pulled by their dog rather than being the walker themselves. And sometimes I wonder if it's safe. Do you think older owners need to stick with small dogs because maybe they won't control them? But it seems to me you can trip over the leash no matter how old you are, no matter how big your dog is.
Sure, those are all very good points, and we do take a lot of time with that person to make sure it's the right fit. One of the great things about our program is that all our dogs are kept in foster homes, so we know a lot about them. We know how well they walk on leash. Are they underfoot? Are they needing to go to the bathroom a lot? And that might be hard for somebody. So we just make sure to match them with the right temperament and level of energy, and we're not going to put a tiny underfoot dog with somebody who has a walker, because that could be dangerous for both of them. So it's really we just really try to make a very good match depending where that senior is at and where they're heading. It all depends on their state of health and everything.
And I'll just add to that, you were asking if a senior person should get a smaller dog. There are plenty of people who have had big dogs their whole life and they still want to get a big dog. We do have big dogs that we match with senior people. And like Monica was saying, it just has to do with that perfect match. So we have some really lovely bigger dogs who walk very nicely on a leash and are still able to jump into the car. And so that's definitely still a possibility for people. It's just about getting the right animal. The small dogs can also be great for senior people if they want somebody in their lap. But also the small dogs, as they age, sometimes you have to be able to pick them up and get them into the car and carry them up some stairs if you have stairs. So there's a lot to consider.
What if you want a dog but aren't able to take it for a walk at night? Don't want to go out in your neighborhood and walk your dog, and dogs need to be walked at night.
Well, maybe get a cat. No.
That's the answer that I hear all the time when I bring that up.
Yeah, cats can be great. It comes down to the person's home. So ideally, if you have a little yard or a little area, some people even set up a little patch of the fake turf, fake grass inside their apartments. We have people who have adopted from us who are in senior living environments, and they've got a little balcony, and they make sure the balcony is safe with fencing around, chicken wire around it so that the dog can't fall off the balcony. But that might be where they set up their little turf. So there are things that can be done. We do have a program called our Helping Paw program, where we help senior people who can't walk their dogs anymore. But we have a limited number of volunteers who can help do that. So we don't necessarily want to adopt out a dog to somebody who immediately needs our Helping Paw program. The program is more for people who have a dog, they've been together for quite a while, they're bonded. We want to keep them together. We want to respect that human animal bond and do everything we can to keep the dog with that person. But we just don't have the capacity to adopt dogs to people who then we're going to have volunteers walk them every day.
Just to add to that, there are dogs. I have one little Chihuahua that really does not like to walk. So that one would be a good match for somebody who isn't going to walk their dog. He's perfectly happy hanging around the house, hanging on a lap. So we just wouldn't place a dog, a lab that needs to be walked. We just wouldn't place it in a home like that. So again, it's about learning what their needs are, both the dog and the human.
Well, speaking of that, and you did kind of refer to this, what happens when the dogs get sick? You talked about having to pick up a small dog, but some dogs of all sizes get arthritis, they lose their sight, they lose their hearing. Is this emotionally good for a senior to have to deal with an aging or disabled pet?
Well, usually a senior who wants a dog has had dogs all their life, and understand what the process is from some age to when an animal passes away. So yeah, as they get older, it could get harder. And obviously when they pass, it could be devastating, but they are already familiar with that process. And usually they come at it more like, I need a dog. I've always had a dog. I really need a dog. And when they start getting sick, if there's something they can't deal with, we are also a resource. We try to give them tips. We have learned so much about how to care for some of these senior dogs and to make it easier. And there's all sorts of things that you can do to make things easier. And so we provide that resource, that information.
Is it common for assisted living facilities to allow people to have pets?
It definitely, not across the board, but definitely more and more are allowing that. And they have certain rules and everything, but it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because it's not only wonderful for that whoever is the guardian of that dog, but for everybody living there if they like dogs.
Yeah, and usually the rule is that the person needs to be able to care for the dog themselves. So they need to be able to feed and walk and make sure the dog is house trained and all of that.
We often hear stories of maybe Hollywood characters or just eccentric people leaving money in their wills for someone to take care of their pets. Have you ever dealt with anything like that?
Yes, and we don't think of those people as eccentric anymore. There's actually here in California and many other states, you are able to set up a pet trust for your dog, which is the safest way to make sure that there are resources for your dog when you pass away. We have a program called our Perpetual Care Program. And so it's where people sign up with us in advance. We meet the dog, they tell us everything we need to know about the dog, what they eat, what their schedule is like, who their veterinarian is. And we have all that information in a file. And then if the person passes away before their dog, the dog will then come to us into our care. And sometimes people set up a pet trust to take care of their dog. We have people who will set up a pet trust in the amount of $5,000, then other people who their pet trust is their entire estate. So that's a service that we provide. That is what gives people peace of mind that their dog will be taken care of, even if something happens to them. And it's something that we really encourage people to think about, just like you would a child. What's going to happen to me if something happens to my pet? And sometimes it's a sister or a daughter or a cousin who says that they will take that pet. And unfortunately, we still get calls from a lot of people who say, my aunt died. I promised her I would take her boxer, but I'm not in a position to be able to do that. Can I bring the dog to you? And of course we say yes, and we assess the dog and make sure it's a dog that will work well in our program. So even if you have someone in your family or friend who says they will take your dog, it's really good to name an organization, because organizations usually have the fuller capacity in case that person at the time of your death is not able to take the dog that you thought they were going to be able to do.
Is there anything else that we've missed that you wanted to add about the advantages to senior people of having senior dogs?
If people go to our website, which is peaceofminddogrescue.org, we have a testimonial page, and it's just page after page of people who are telling us how much their dogs have changed their life, people who are grateful for the help that we've been able to give them, people who have family members who have passed away, and they let us know how peaceful that passing was because they knew that their beloved pet was taken care of. We really encourage, we are local to California Central Coast. We serve Santa Cruz County, Monterey County, and San Benito County. And we're really open to organizations and people in other areas contacting us. We give all the information we can to help other people replicate the programs that we have.
Well, they're certainly excellent and very thought-provoking. I've been listening and thinking about getting a dog the whole time you've been talking. So thank you. I want to thank you both so much for your insights about pet ownership. Our guests were Carrie Broker and Monica Rua, Peace of Mind Dog Rescue. Thank you both so much.
As we all get older, it's a good time to think about what might come next. For many people, acknowledging that we all will eventually die is something they refuse to consider or discuss. If you gather with family or friends at Thanksgiving this year, please consider telling someone in the group who you trust where your important papers are kept, and be sure to update that person every year. You may decide to change the place or even change the person.
It's not enough just to have a will or a healthcare directive if no one knows where it is. Telling someone where you keep the documents is not the same as revealing how much is in your bank account or how you want your assets divided after you die. You can put all the important documents in a file on your computer, you can stack them in a shoebox in your closet, or you can leave copies of everything with your attorney. Wherever you choose to store the documents, be sure that someone knows where they are.
Here's a list of documents you should have ready: your will and your healthcare directive, the name, address, phone numbers, and emails of parents, siblings, and children. List and location of bank accounts, insurance policies, stock certificates, and passwords. List of auto pay deposits and charges. Whether you have prepaid your funeral or not. Where your extra house keys are, your car keys, your safe deposit keys. Also list those who also have keys to your home, such as a cleaning person, a dog walker, or a landlord. Give the location of your safety deposit box and contact information for your attorney, insurance agent, and doctors.
If you have those papers in order, when you see a trusted friend or a family member over the holidays, tell them the location. You don't have to give the details, just the location. Your surviving family members will really appreciate it. Think about it. You may already have been buried before someone finds your will and discovers, hey, you wanted a big send-off with music, champagne, and friends. That's our podcast for today. Our thanks to Carrie Broker and Monica Rua of Peace of Mind Dog Rescue. Our theme music is from Hook Sounds. You can learn more about Next Village SF by going to their website, www.nextvillagesf.org.
And thanks to you for listening. We'd love to hear what you want us to discover and discuss. Please contact us at notbornyesterday@nextvillagesf.org.
Be well, stay strong, and remember, you weren't born yesterday. I'm Lynn Winter Gross.
And I'm Miriam Goodman.